welcome back to TearRing Saga. Last time, we sorted out things with both of our armies. Runan and Holmes are about to go their separate ways once more. And here we go, this is our first event that we've successfully unlocked by putting both Rochelle and Muriel on Runan's route. I'm not exactly sure why it has to be Runan's route specifically, but it seems like it does. And this is that second personal tome that I foreshadowed for Muriel for such a long time. And it's a very, very interesting one. Aura Rain. I mean, well, she's promoted, she's certainly experienced enough. Doesn't really matter though, it's a personal tome, she'll always be able to use it. Well, that's a pretty bold claim. Well, I mean, considering everything that Nareth did, it makes sense that he never let Nareth touch that. You wouldn't want this kind of power in Nareth's hands. So I guess that makes you the next Sage of Water, even though you're more light aligned. There's no actual water magic though, so I guess light is the closest equivalent. I think every other Sage's element has a direct elemental equivalent. Oh, apart from Earth. I guess Earth might be aligned with either Thunder or Dark Magic, maybe. We have Aura Rain. Meanwhile, I'll be able to show that its stats later. So, Act 3 works in a very interesting way. But for now, yes, as I mentioned in the previous parts, Katri is going to stay with her parents from now on. So we will not have our Uber Dragon healer anymore, unfortunately. So make sure that Holmes' route has plenty of other healers. It's a bit of a jerk move because they don't hint that Katri is going to leave. You might be able to figure it out because she has finally found her parents and she wants to spend more time with them. But yeah, if you put all of Holmes' route's clerics onto Runan's route and thought that Katri would handle all of your healing needs, yeah, you will have no healers for Holmes' route for several chapters. Holmes does recruit a staff user in chapter 29, but that's quite a while to wait. So again, it is a bit of a jerk move if you don't see it coming. Oh, by the way, Shigen! I just half expect Holmes to do a double take. Wait a minute, Shigen? You're alive? Yeah, exactly, he's doing it now. I can just imagine like the delayed reactions. Oh yeah, Shigen. Nice one, bro. You're always around. Wait a minute, I thought you died! Yes, as if I die that easily. Even when I do not equip Dullahan, I still cannot die. So, this is what happens if you lost Shigen at any point before the second route split and he did not revive with Dullahan. Now, how that would happen, well, I mean, actually it's decently easy for that to happen if you're not careful. But, when Shigen is saying that Holmes will be lonely without Katri, the interesting thing is, the reason why they prevent Shigen from dying during that route split is because, from now on, Shigen replaces Katri as Holmes' second lord. If Shigen dies from here on, it's a game over, and he's now forced into Holmes' party for the rest of the game. But, if Shigen quote-unquote died earlier, then this lady who saved him is gonna join Holmes' party. Now, you can recruit her without this. If you do not do this, she will join in chapter 31, which is quite a while off, and if that happens, she'll be locked to Holmes' route. This way, you have a little bit of freedom as to which route to put Sierra on in the third route split, and that means that she can wreck Runan's route when she gets the chance. So this is gonna be super fun, because Sierra, you'll see. You'll definitely see. Well, I mean, actually he does have the most potential love interest in the epilogue of, like, any character. He has 3, possibly. And Sierra is one of them, and she is the one that I definitely favour for him. She's kind of the default option if you don't end up getting either of his other 2 love interests, but they do override her if you do end up getting them, so I'm gonna try and make sure that Shigen ends up with Sierra. Really, the main threat is if I end up accidentally hooking Shigen up with Krishna while attempting to do the Krishna glitch later. Because the events that lead up to the Krishna glitch also involve Shigen increasing his support with Krishna. At the same time, though, I actually think there is another event that overrides Krishna's ending with Shigen. But anyway, I'll talk more about that later. For now, we think we can take them. They won't forget us. Yes, the Navy. Holmes will actually be doing some piracy on his next chapters. And like a lot of fictional characters who can die repeatedly, Shigen has a good sense of humor about his own frequent deaths. So, Holmes will now appear on the world map. Oh, well, we're at Zemselia, so we're going to be getting some more conversations here. I'll talk about how this route works gameplay-wise after this, because... Is this... Yes, this is the first time we've met Julius. This guy looks like a pretty typical JRPG villain, doesn't he? Well, interesting thing about Julius is that this guy's portrait has existed for a very long time in the development of TearRing Saga. In fact, back before it was even called TearRing Saga, this guy's portrait was going to be used for a playable knight named Warner. Then, in another early build, his portrait was used for a playable character, I forget his name, but his title was the Red Lightning. So, yeah, Julius's portrait went through quite a lot of changes, not so much in terms of the portrait itself, but more in terms of the character it was used for. Kaga must have had this portrait sitting around for a while, and he must have just decided, oh hey, look, here's a character, oh, let's give him this portrait. Well, we're gonna cut this character, let's give the portrait to someone else. And eventually it ended up on a general of the Empire. Oh, yet more tell don't show here. This is interesting though, like this kind of reminds me of that speech from Pirates of the Caribbean, that a dishonest man you can always trust to be dishonest. Sometimes the people that you know are untrustworthy are actually the most reliable because you can rely on them to be untrustworthy, which ironically makes them really predictable. It's just something that I just thought was interesting, where it was a Critical Role Talks Machina where Sam Riegel talked about how his character actually, like, trusts one of the really major villains of that campaign more than a lot of other characters, because, I mean, she can trust him to be evil, so, yeah. Anyway, Julius, though, for looking like a generic JRPG villain, is surprisingly reasonable of a general. Kanan already knows the war is pretty much lost, so they want to make sure that as few people die as possible. Also, Kanan Hall is such a cool name for a location. Oh yeah, Barbarossa. Well, I would say that we were entirely to blame for that, but Barbarossa did kind of sacrifice himself. Still, we pushed him to it, so we are partly to blame there. So, yeah, they really hate Runan now. See, a lot of the times when, you get those memes about, oh, you know, this character who's obviously a villain in the story, are they the real good guys? Here, I actually kind of believe it. Julius is the wild card of the royal siblings. He is basically trying to reform the Empire from the inside. We'll see how successful he is, and haha, do we know that character we saw before's name is Carla? Yes, Carla is actually, Zeeg's sister. He's the one who, talked to Zeeg earlier. Oh yes, conquering other people under the guise of unification. Not like I've seen that lately in a Fire Emblem game. So they're all really interesting characters, and there's Dolm's army, and yes, we can actually do the forging quest, because there's a skirmish at Fort Ligria. So, how this portion of the game is going to work. If you move the cursor over to Holmes' army, yeah, the armies can't cross over, but we actually have the freedom to do Runan and Holmes' chapters in any order. Runan still can't backtrack though, while Holmes can. So Holmes can still freely fight skirmishes, go here, do forging, go to Blood, access the shops, buy skills, go here and fight some monsters. Holmes' next map is here, against the Imperial Navy in the sea. Runan's next map is here at Zemcelia against Dolm's army. Dolm is yet another pathetic Duke boss, which is kind of sad. And a whole crap ton of catapults. Yeah, Runan's next chapter, the gimmick of this chapter is, let's just throw a bajillion catapults at you. Yeah, it's time for eating rock, just like that soldier in Path of Radiance chapter 25, is it? Says? I think it's 25. But anyway, so you can do Runan and Holmes' chapters in any order at this point. I think I'm going to go ahead and do Runan's first, but I just actually realized something. If this has been mostly cutscenes so far, maybe I should actually take on, because Holmes has a whole bunch of events before he does his next chapter, so maybe I should actually start moving Holmes on the map a little bit before I go for Runan. So Holmes doesn't have any events just yet. But once we reach Castle Salia, this is where we're going to be parting ways with Katri. And I'm pretty sure she should be dumping all of her staves in the inventory, because, I mean, Zeeg did that, so hopefully Katri does too. After all, this bracelet is everything of me, as the bad translation would say. I mean, separating the bracelet from her, if, you know, Salia ever gets attacked by Gwen Chaos, is probably a good idea. Just so that now, that's going to make more work for him. If he does somehow find Katri, he'll have to find Holmes as well to have Neuron under his control. Of course, Katri doesn't really see it that way, she's mostly giving it to Holmes because she likes him. Is she seriously saying, oh no, I'm not going to be here, but this bracelet will cover my physics staff duties and turning into a dragon? It's still not nearly as good of a line as, what is this idiot thing? Well, I mean, hopefully we'll get back to Katri before, you know, the cult attacks again. Well, yeah, Tsunderes kind of are like this. And Holmes, I believe, actually gets the Ring of Salia. So, yeah, he can't use it for anything, but he'll have it in his inventory nonetheless. Speaking of inventory, I'll take that silver bow back. And we have yet more events in Blood. Now, I think this is the one that I think it is. This is another one that I missed in my first playthrough. Oh great, everyone's publicly celebrating the return of the Lost Princess. That's really bad if the cult gets wind of that. This is a pretty nice background, though. Well, I would say I'm sure Katri wouldn't like that, but she probably would be too oblivious to realize. I wonder if that line was weirdly translated. Although she is really drunk, so that fits. Well, I mean, you know, no walk is a big thing to say if you're, you know, drunk. No, I forgot Alicia had events on this route. But yeah, Alicia isn't going to make a move on Holmes. She is yet another Holmes and Katri shipper. Oh boy, yeah, you're not going to beat Samson, I'm sorry. Nobody's going to beat Samson. Issues, huh? I should actually mention, this is not the Xeno and Uni event that I talked about in the Route Split video. That comes a little later. Yeah, it's implied that Xeno likes Katri, and honestly, the first time I played this game, I actually, did ship Xeno more with Katri than I did with Holmes. I actually didn't see, Holmes and Katri coming at all. in my first playthrough. I thought they were actually going for Zeno and Katri. I believe we're about to get some backstory here. See, it's at moments like this where I actually think the backstory drops are decently sort of delivered, because here everyone's having a celebration, and it's not a particularly long scene, and unlike that one with Rochelle, it doesn't meander on a whole bunch of other topics before going back to the main point. Yeah, the two of them both came from the cult of Gerzel. And here the questions about somebody's past actually feel in character. Just Sierra's whole situation is really sad, being saved from, you know, being persecuted just for her race, only to find out the people who saved her were a cult that indoctrinated her. It's just... This is one of my favourite parts of TearRing Saga, honestly. The fact that while the cult and Gwen Chaos are bad, the Zoan people themselves are actually very sympathetic. And in a way, Gwen Chaos is kind of using a lot of those racial tensions and desire for revenge for his own gain. We'll get more into this a little bit later. Now, from what I've heard though, this fan localization actually did change some details about Shigen's father. And this is a change that they say they really regretted later on. There wasn't a whole lot of stuff about Shigen's father in the original game, I don't think. I believe you'll also miss out on this entire conversation if you don't get Sierra early. So yeah, letting Shigen quote-unquote die before Chapter 24 is really beneficial in a lot of ways. Because this is some big backstory, not just on Shigen and Sierra, but also on Zoa itself, and even Gwen Chaos and the cults. Okay, here is the part that I was waiting for. Yes, dance and refresh everyone so they can get drunk more. That'll be good. And they get to show this off again. Something that you might not have seen is that with animations off, Plum actually changes the color of her outfit every time she dances, if you have animations on. It's kind of weird. The animation still takes quite a while though. I almost wonder if they, like, I mean, did they have mocap back in the PS1 days? Because this almost looks like it could have been motion captured. It's actually pretty impressive animation for sprite work. A shame Plum didn't acquire the ability to dance through not horrible means. Yes, everyone is feeling really guilty. I mean, you know, Plum dances for everyone just to make the move again, but yeah. Everyone is just really hating Holmes for this. Oh man, if she put that outfit on and danced, that would probably get even more drooling. And so we get the full reveal finally. Plum's missing father was Lionheart all along. And now, I can show that conversation from that house in blood that I think spoils this a bit too early. An important thing to note, that conversation in that house is not required to see the culmination of the Plum and Lionheart subplot. The only requirements are that Plum is a dancer and that she has Land's mirror. Unfortunately, that means that Plum getting kidnapped is required for her to be reunited with her missing father. To be honest, I almost wish that Lionheart actually rescued her from Orcus Village. I feel like that might have been a little bit of a better way of handling it. But yes, this was a very revealing party. It went on for quite some time, though. Now, there is another pretty big event in Orcus Village on this route. I don't know if I'm going to have time to fully show it, though, because I think while we're here, maybe we'll take on the forging quest now. Oh wow, only 2 Draco zombies. That's actually kind of not that bad. See, as you can see, Shigen is now a star unit. We have to deploy him in every chapter. Oh, we're outside the fort. Of course we are. Oh, crap. I really hope the Arile guards don't just kill all of the Draco zombies before I get the chance to... Are you serious? Thankfully, this encounter does respawn. Oh, they actually do quite a lot to her. Oh, no move. Oh, but at least you got Paragon. Okay, now I should be able to use this forge. Finally. Visit. So yes, blah blah blah, you're an alchemist, potion of mastery, and a leather shield. The only reason why I'm doing this transmutation is to unlock the second transmutation that this guy has. So from that we get a dragon potion, which is a defense potion. Don't really know who I'll give that to, but again, I'm only doing this to unlock the next reward. So now that we've made the dragon potion, we can visit this forge again, not attack the zombie. a silver sword and a plain iron shield, he can make you a silver shield. Now, the reason why I want to do this is so that I can use the silver shield for part of the Bloodforge quest. I normally wouldn't do this though because silver shields are incredibly good. So this thing right here, 20 extra defense while held. It only has 2 uses, but sometimes that's all you need. And I'm really hoping this zombie doesn't just attack me and waste a use of it. I mean, I'm going to need to give it up anyway, but still. But I can at least show what the third transmutation is from this alchemist. So, he wants a sword of a hero and a bag of gold. He'll make you a crest that'll make you a hero yourself. What this means is you need to trade a bag of gold and a brave sword for a hero crest. As much as there are a lot of good people who promote with hero crests in this game, I would not give up a brave sword for that. There's plenty of hero crests for everybody who needs them. Like, I have more than I ever need, really. This extra hero crest on Leonie is honestly kind of superfluous. I don't really need to promote her to beat the game at this point. I'm just doing it because I like her move growth. So, oh, that's an annoying trade. Like, a really, really annoying trade. I don't want to give up Brave Sword. Meanwhile, Leonie levels up by dodging zombie slaps. And because of that, I can't take this forge all the way. But I will tell you the next 2 steps. If you do get that hero crest, the next step is combining an elixir and a miracle charm to make an Azoth. You're intended to use this to continue the blood forging quest, but I picked up an Azoth from Orcus Village, so I'm set there. The final step is a Thief's Dagger, which you can get via the Bloodforge, and a Bridge Key to make another Member Key. This is the only way to get a second Member Key in the game, and the only way to get a Member Key on Holmes' route without trading Runan's one over here. Admittedly, having a Member Key on Holmes' route does give you access to a secret shop in Blood that sells Brave weapons, so you're kind of supposed to recoup the Brave Sword cost there. It's still a lot of gold, though. And overall, I just don't really find it that worth it to give up a Brave Sword just to get another Member Key. And with that, she gets her chance to become a hero. Though she doesn't really look that different. She's been pretty unlucky with her strength growth too, but a 7-move sniper is pretty solid. It looks like these monster reinforcements are pretty much endless, so you can access the arena and forge here whenever you want. I guess I panicked over nothing before. So if we go to the inn here, I should be able to access the Blood Forge, and I'll be able to forge all 5 items available from it. So step 1, Airstock and Silver Shield. I still don't really think this is entirely worth it, especially when you see the item we get at... No, that's the wrong house. That's actually the secret shop house, but yeah. I'm able to access that right now. And I won't be able to in this playthrough because I don't want to give up a Brave Sword. But the first thing here is, yeah, he's actually kind of lying here. Airstock and a Silver Shield. It's not actually the reward for this. I believe this actually makes you a Shield Blade. Yeah, there must have been a mistranslation there. So yes, that makes you a Shield Blade. Shield Blade isn't that bad. I don't know if I'd rather have the Silver Shield. I guess it can potentially give you the same effect as a Silver Shield. But after doing that, I now have every other item that I need for this forge on Krishna. So she's gonna be our delivery girl and give them over here. So next step is a thin-bladed sword, that's a slim sword, or short sword in the original translation, and a magical shield. So let's do this. This gives you the Ward Blade, which I personally don't think is all that great either. Raises res by 7, it only has 1 might and only 50 hit and only 16 uses. It's just like, I mean, I guess it does increase your magic resistance, kind of, but I still just, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're not attacking with it, it is a permanent buff to resistance that can't be broken by being attacked, but still. So, Swordbreaker and a bag of gold. He'll make a dagger perfect for mugging. This is actually maybe kind of worth it. The Swordbreaker has a few niche uses, but this weapon is actually pretty nice. Though you have to give it up if you want to make the second member key, which I don't really recommend, because this thing, which Krishna can actually use, yeah, its accuracy is kind of shaky, but if this hits, you are guaranteed to steal an item from the enemy. Only 8 uses though, so don't let too many enemies attack you. You kind of want to be very precise with this, but it is a very useful thing to have. Like, it's essentially Mahen without needing to use Mahen, but only, you know, for 8 uses. Now this though, this is the one that I really wanted. I've never actually got this before. Holy Azoth and a longbow. This gives us Blessed Bow, which is called Dragon Arrow in Japanese. Now, this isn't just any typical, you know, blessed weapon. This is an extremely strong weapon. Effective against monsters, can be used to recover HP, 2 to 3 range, which is pretty solid, and also 17 might, too. And only 10 weight. So, yeah, I'm going to give that to Holmes when I next have the chance, which is actually now. So, I gave up the longbow, but I got essentially a better longbow out of it. And now, this one is pretty much not necessary. But I'm going to do it anyway, because I can take this all the way. This one requires a heal staff and a repair hammer. Or smith's hammer in this translation. Yeah, so basic healing staff and a spare smithing hammer. Yep, this actually gets you a second hammer and staff. Which is a little annoying because Katri is no longer with us, and she was the closest to actually being able to use that. But we are going to get another healer quite soon, and they have a lot of mastery, I think. So now we have 6 repairs, so we'll be able to repair things like Dullahan and Shram and Sunflame, all that good stuff. And with that, I should probably just leave the map. And with that all taken care of, I'll see you next time when, instead of progressing more forward on Holmes' route, we're actually going to be switching over to Runan's party. And with Runan, we'll be heading out to Zemcelia, a place we've heard a lot about. So, see you all then.